So, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to week 4. This week, my job is to bring everything to a close, to talk about our themes, and perhaps leave you with something to think about as you go into reading week next week. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone who took the time to come and meet with Karen or I. For me, it was a great experience to not only put a face or a voice to a name, but it was also an opportunity to hear from you about how the semester is going. And, when you think about it, we are about 3.5 weeks into the semester, or a little bit more than that, I guess, at this point. And, the reality is, at this point, people should feel that things are moving in a positive direction, or there may be courses where you've realized you need some extra help or extra support. And that's what this week was all about. It was about talking about supports on campus and talking about how UPEI as an institution is there for every student in whatever capacity they may need. So just in thinking about the theme, I wanted to pull out a few things that I could share with you. The first being the theme of building community. Far too often we can become very insular and very laser focused in many ways on our own success without kind of acknowledging what's around us. And I was reminded this week in meeting with all of you that many of you share the same courses, and oftentimes we don't take the time to look around in our classes to find out who is there. And although we can't do that visually for some, because we're not on campus, we can do that electronically. So if you know students that are in your class, if you have yet to connect with some students, the opportunity is there to work together to build towards that collective success. And the other thing that I sort of pulled out was that we have to recognize that you're among many. You're among many students who may not all the time say, I'm having a challenge, or I need help in this area. But many students across campus, through their own strength, they're able to say, I do need help. And the best resource in many ways is each other. So please reach out to people you know in your classes, develop relationships so that you can study together, and work together towards that common success. The other thing that I wanted to say was it's difficult sometimes to raise our hand and say, I need help. And that's okay. It takes some courage sometimes. Sometimes it just takes letting our guard down. But as I said before, you're not alone. People tend to have similar questions to you. They tend to have similar challenges. So again, it's important to sometimes step outside of our own element and take charge and take responsibility for our own education, in that asking for help is part of that solution. I was reminded when we were talking about resilience this week and how I feel that resilience comes through motivation. And I think it's important to recognize who and what motivates us to be here. And I think for my own self, if I reflect on my own time as a student, me wanting to be successful was a big part of why I went on to be successful. Because if you want something, if you feel motivated, if you are trying to do something that perhaps is out of character, if people don't expect you to be successful, if that's not something that you've always been, those are the inner kind of motivations that can drive us to find that resilience in life. And finally, I just wanted to say that we all make mistakes and we all stumble. And so many of you are sitting here and not all of you, but many of you are sitting here on academic probation. You're here because the university has put you into this program or has asked you to take this program. But there are so many other students across campus that could benefit from taking the time to slow down and to think and to reflect. And I look at this as an opportunity, not necessarily one that sort of you're confined to. And I often tell students when I'm working with them in the SSP program that the true measure of a person is not how many times they fall down, but it's precisely how many times they pick themselves up. And so I would encourage you to think about it from that perspective and to think about what motivates you on a go-forward basis. So thanks so much, and wishing everyone the best of luck for Reading Week next week. Okay, take care.